to have a nice cup of coffee there.
Mm-hmm.
Can I have you go ahead and say and spell your name for me?
Sure, it's Jamie Richards. It's Jamie Richards.
Great.
Perfect.
All right, and we're ready, Jen.
Cool. I'm just going to ask you a few questions, just find
Okay.
out a little bit more about the program. And
Mm-hmm.
so, to get started, can you just tell us about your role with the summer intensive program?
I'm here directing the scene study portion of the event, working with Trip. So we're doing pieces of dramatic literature with music. So that complements the opera side of the program.
Excellent. How long have you been involved with the conservatory and with the intensive?
I've been involved with Colorado Springs Conservatory for many, many years. I'm not going to tell you how many, but I've been coming out here since Linda started the school, when she was in a tiny little daycare center in a storefront. And so I started coming out and teaching with her then, and I was just so impressed with the level of the students, their commitment, their discipline, their focus from the very beginning. I just kept coming back because I so enjoyed working with these students. They're really exceptional, and it's because of the training.
Excellent. Talk a little bit about what the students learn through the program.
Well, of course, they have their whole opera side and composition. They're downstairs right now working on their own composition for the opera. From my end of things, I'm exposing them to a whole lot of literature, from Shakespeare to Sam Shepard. They're getting, so they're actually rehearsing. They're in rehearsal, just like professional actors. But they also get quite a bit of theater history in my class. They get a lot of just plain training, cold reading, audition material, everything from how to just be able to stand on stage, diction work. So they're really kind of getting a crash course. It's almost like a crash college course. In 2 weeks, they're really getting a lot of information. So.
Excellent. Why do you think it is so important that these high school students are learning about Shakespeare and theater history and all of that at this point in their
Well, I
lives?
think that any kind of arts training, in particular, training for the theater, is going to be extremely helpful no matter what you do in life. It involves intense discipline, focus, concentration, ensemble work, just plain showing up, and then having the understanding how hard it takes to make a work of art. You're not just getting up there to tap dance or be looked at or look pretty. There's a huge amount of commitment and focus and hard work that goes into that. And also I think that to quote a friend of mine, Willie Reale, who is the founder of 52nd Street Project, which is a nationally recognized program for kids in New York City. He said, I've seen a kid take a bow and come up taller. And I think that it instills a sense of pride and accomplishment that never leaves you. And sometimes it's the hardest work you may ever do in your life, but at the end of the day, when it's done and you've taken your bows and you come back and say, I did that. So I see that in their faces. I see the difference in them, the way they walk around. I see a kid come in maybe shy or frightened and walk out poised and self-confident. So I think it's the best thing they could do with their time.
That's so cool. That's a great quote. How has this, it sounds like the program has a lot of impact on the students' lives. How has it impacted your life to be involved?
Oh, I think that one of the reasons why I'm in the theater and the arts is because you get to learn for your whole life. You don't get to a point where you say, oh, I know everything now. You have an opportunity to always get better and better. So for me, I learn huge amounts from them. Just trying to find out how to say the right words or teach a concept that might be second nature to me helps me identify. And I just think I learn from them. And plus the fact they're just fun to hang around with. So.
It sounds like you're familiar with a similar program in New York. Why do you think these programs are so important just to the communities that they're in?
I think to build a community of committed people that understand that it takes a group to make something happen. I think the kids from the conservatory are made very aware of community service. They are always giving back to the community. I think that's a lifelong gift that doesn't go away. So I think it's creating citizens of this community and of the world. And I think they understand their place in the community and how important, you know, each individual's contribution is. So it makes just an all-around better place to live. If you have artists and you're bringing that kind of work into the community. Plus it's fun and it's entertaining and educational. So I couldn't speak more highly of the work that the Conservatory is doing for Colorado Springs. And remember too that these kids are going out into the world and they're ending up in New York. I've got alumni in New York now. So they're going out into the world. So I think it's tremendously impactful. I do.
That's excellent. Your answers have been wonderful. Is there anything else that you'd like to add just about the conservatory, about the program, about the students?
Well, again, I just support it 100%. I have been consistently impressed with the level of the conservatory students. I notice when I'm teaching kids that are maybe haven't been at the conservatory as long as some of the others, their skill levels really aren't quite there yet. And so there's just there's a commitment and a sense of community there. And when I see these kids from the time they're 5 years old, and now I see them going off to USC or Juilliard or Oberon, I imagine all the time that they could have been sitting in their room, you know, playing Angry Birds. And they're here, and they're learning about music, and they're learning about literature, and they're learning all this everything that they're learning, and they love it, and they want to be part of it, and they come back. And again, they're creating their own little community, and they will support each other as they go out into the world. So I think that's, again, just couldn't be more impressed.
One more last quick thing is, why don't you say something about Linda since you know her best?
Well, I've known Linda for a long time. She wouldn't want me to tell you how long. And I've known her since we were both emerging artists in New York City. Linda's knowledge is so vast. Her knowledge of music and her passion and how much she cares about these kids and the devotion that she brings to the conservatory. And by extension, you know, she inspires everyone else to work that hard and care that much. But most impressive is her expertise, actually. But I think she cares very much about this community, and I know she cares about these kids. She's willing to go, you know, 24/7 for the kids, and I think that people respect that, and they respond to that, and they say, oh, I can go that far too. So I think that's very important. And again, I think the difference Linda has made for Colorado Springs and just arts culture in general in this part of the region is vast.
Thank
Done?
you.
Yay!
Perfect.
That was Dan.